the city, this a DW party. Only place to play your favorite local artists. We show love. Dallas Wall Street, 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 Dallas Wall Street Radio.
Power214.com. And we back.
Yo.
It's Dallas Wall Street Radio live on Power214.com.
With my guy, the guy, Terry X is in the building.
So we were talking, leading up to this interview. I'm excited about what we got to talk about. These guys will let you know every week I go on my pro-black rant on my everything is about elevation and stuff like that. It'd be a lot going on in my head, but you are specifically out here reaching out to guys like me.
Yeah, most definitely, man.
So tell us a little bit about it, man. What got you so motivated to care about other young men who could be in the same trouble that you may have been in one day?
Once you come into knowledge yourself and you find out who you are, man. And it's a difference between where you've been and understanding that sometimes where you've been is just training grounds for the now. You know what I mean? And you get in tune and in line with the creator and things of that nature. So that's exactly what happened, man. So only inspired people can inspire people.
Man, only inspired people can inspire people. I like that. You got to have a light in order to get somebody else's light to shine. And the way that you're doing that right now, specifically, you were speaking about what's coming in the future, man. The OG universities. I'm excited about that. Yeah. But tell us about what the organization that you have going right now. Yeah,
I'm an urban specialist, and what we do, we have our methodology is just invasion, intrusion, and institution, man. So every part of the culture, from music to fashion to people who teach business to just all facets, language, bridging the gaps between old and young. Yeah. We invade the culture to be able to get very intrusive with them, because once you get close to somebody, that's when you're able to help change their mind and their opinions and things of that nature. So, and then the institution part is just actually providing resources for people. It's not necessarily for like me giving you a job, but if you're into music, guess what? Now I have a resource I can plug you with somebody into music.
Right,
if you're into fashion, now I have a resource I can plug you into fashion, because ultimately, what we're saying is we're trying to stop the culture of violence. And I know, hold on, what they got anything to do with anything? But by trying to stop the culture of violence, that means we're being proactive instead of reactive. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Finding something to replace it.
Yeah.
So, what got you into this? What made you want to go and help the youth? Man,
actually, you can't do this as a job. You know what I'm saying? It got to be in you to be able to do
naturally.
that. Yeah. You gotta understand them. You know what I mean? You got to be non-judgmental with them. Yeah. You can never be hypocritical with them. But also, what really, it used to bother me when they say, this generation right here is super messed up. I'm like, hold on. This generation is dope.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just when this generation being so dope, but they have to have a guide too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Everyone needs it.
Everyone needs a guide, but it's really a calling. My grandmother told me this when I was a young boy, that I'd be doing this, and I thought I was going to be playing ball forever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of playing ball, just to give our listeners a little insight, this guy's humble. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna just, throw out a few accolades.
Go and break it down.
You know what I'm saying?
Who Mayo is.
Man.
I want to say first that I met this guy in college. You know what I'm saying? As the star athlete, I remember they just made a huge deal about this guy, Terry Mayo. And I tell him all the time, I thought it was a white guy. Yeah. Somebody told us we had this new white quarterback.
Wait a minute.
Named Terry Mayo.
Yeah.
No, I didn't think he was white because his last name is Mayo. But I did make that joke. I did make that joke. And then I heard him on our local station at the college. And I was like, damn, this white boy sound like a black dude.
Yeah.
And then, but
moment of clarity.
Past that, he had a party. I remember, we went and kicked it at this big ass party he had. He made these fucking beans that the whole school fell in love with. Like the whole fucking school. Yeah. That's crazy.
We used to have a bean party.
Hey, that's a real talk.
This man said he had a bean party.
He used to make these beans.
I know they was in there partying.
Man, so So and then I got close with this guy. You know what I'm saying. He just his aura. You know what I mean. He just he was like a big bro off top.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying. And just for him to be this top recruit guy, you know what I'm saying, and to come into this small ass town, in this small school that wasn't even doing good, and just show so much love, you know what I'm saying. And then I got closer to him and started learning more about him, and I found out that he played for the Milwaukee Brewers in the minor leagues, you know what I'm saying. So to have those type of accolades, you know what I'm saying, I know for you to make it to the minor leagues, for you to be a major number one recruit, you know what I'm saying, in high school, you had to be that guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's dope to see you being able to give back to the youth, because I know that you understand more because you had a social life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure you was popular as hell. So I just wanted to give the listeners that information about this guy, because it means a lot. People want to know where you come from. The youth want to know what you have done and what you have accomplished. Sure. And I know that you don't really talk about it. It's not something that you bring up personally, but I just wanted people to know that this is somebody that's a figure that's really doing something with his life, and I really respect that shit.
Yeah, man. All praise due to God, man. And I always do that. Man, I got drafted from high school, from Eastern Guilford when I was 17 years old.
Yeah.
Went straight to the league, you know what I'm saying? And it was a rocky road. When I say rocky road, man, like you go from being a little boy to being amongst not just grown men, but rich grown men. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's different. So you go from, and then on top of that, man, I was a faker when I was young. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. When I say a faker, I was very respectful in front of the people I needed to respect, man. But I had a whole nother life behind the scenes. I was banging and all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that's how it is.
I mean, it's really like that, But so it was, like I said, those were training grounds to get me to where I am now. Like, this is my 11th state living in, been all over the country. Everywhere I've been, I've always been welcome. I realized I really never had enemies in my life. And so it was like, even though I've had teachers and mentors and things of that nature, man, I really believe that I was blessed to be able to take those teachings and be able to give it to somebody. What I believe in is, a lot of times in this business of really trying to save people, right? What happens is people try to give people meat too fast, bro. You know what I mean? A baby never comes out of the womb eating meat.
It takes a while.
They get milk.
Yeah.
You feel me? So and what happens when you try to give a baby meat too fast, their body isn't going to digest it.
Yeah.
So when you give them milk, so what we're saying as urban specialists, we meeting people where they are. In a non-judgmental way. You know what I mean? I also got to say that I'm also I'm a registered member of the Nation of Islam. You know what I'm saying? So how do I take the teachings and things of that nature and give it to people without me having to be too radical?
Yeah, where they can digest it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's where the balance comes in, that, man, and it's humbling too. You know
yeah, I mean? I notice a lot of times when I talk to people that like this, like I'm involved a lot like in church and stuff, in the community and things like that. And what we notice is when you want to help somebody, that's like the time that they least want to be helped. Exactly. And as young as the youth right now, like you said a comment earlier about how, people say, oh, this generation is this, that, and the other. It's like that's always the case. It's like there's a new wave of babies come in, and people make this comment of this generation is whatever, as if all hope is lost. Yeah. But it's like at the end of the day, if their hope is lost, your hope is lost, because they are the future for you. So and you're taking that step to, like you say, you want to meet them where they are. That include that to me, you know what I'm saying, that means finding these kids in those formative years.
Right.
And that is what you do, right? You find them in their school years, in the time that they're learning and their mind is still spongy. They can still grasp onto these things. Right. How do you feel like it is that you're able to reach and get into these kids? Like, because I'm sure, like you say, you had it both ways. So if you could be respectful in one room, I'm sure it was easy for the mentor of the school to walk in and you could have it all together. And then when he leave, he like, hey, yeah, we back. Right. But it's like, how do you get into them to a point where you're able to sustain those relationships like you do?
Man, bottom line, if in school, if you study, you pretty much gonna pass the test. Right. So what happens is you have a bunch of lookers and seers, man, and people stop being observant. Observation is a real gift, man. Sometimes when I go into schools, bro, I don't just go straight up to the kids and start working. I sit back and chill just the way they sit back and chill, so I can observe and study who is the major influencer. Mm-hmm. Because you know how it is. If you go to the very cool guy and then you develop an organic relationship with the coolest guy in school, and then the whole school seeing you giving dap to this dude, he gonna make it cool for everybody else to now when you go up, you ain't an op.
Fact. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly right.
Like for real. So now I shake hands with the cool guy. Boom. They like, yo, what's good, man? I said, in they mind, like I seen you shaking hands with da. So I know you must be solid. You know what I mean? And then that's when the intrusion is with us. So when you start creating these organic relationships, because a lot of times people feel like you have to give something to be able to. What are you gonna give them to keep them keep coming? Man, love. Because you got to think, man. We come from a generation of people that's been hurt.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Like sometimes when
starting at home.
It start at home. Mm-hmm. Hurt people, man. Think about how many moms done told a young man, you're gonna be just like your daddy.
Just like your daddy.
Man. Like, that's a cold lick. So now when you don't even know who he is or whatever, now you got this, or I'm just saying if that's the case, you don't know what he is, but you know he ain't there, and then you start acting out, maybe I am just like him. You feel me?
Because you know what, man, I heard that a lot in my whole life. You know what I'm saying? My pops got 50 years, and I heard that a whole lot. Yeah. And some kids don't take it the way I took it. Yeah. Like, shit, I got a reputation in the streets, but I've never been to jail. Yeah. Not even for a fucking ticket. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I made that a point. Yeah. Because so many people told me, you're going to be just like your dad. Yeah. And then, my pops ended up getting out early. Mm-hmm. But what he told me? He was like, man, I did enough time for everybody in the family. Right. Like, fuck all that other shit. Right. I did enough time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because that shit is not cool. Yeah. And but at one point in my life, though, I did feel like I would be just like my dad. Like, I did feel that I would be locked up. I did feel that I probably wouldn't make it past 25. Yeah. Like, I mean, me and you had these talks before I was 25. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, that's real. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you saying, it starts at home. Like, telling you that you're going to be just like your dad. Going home and seeing your dad not being there. Going home and your mom is struggling. Yeah. And you don't know. It's like a kid shouldn't have to feel like, damn, I need to go get some money to help my mama. Right, and that's another thing. It's good that you said that, because when we go, like, we do home visits. Yeah, man, if you see a kid at school, right, and then that same young person see you sitting on their couch, automatically it's like, yo, this dude it's 8 o'clock. I seen him all day. Now he in my crib. You know what I mean? This dude is talking about giving my mom resources and helping her out when she need help. Yo, man, what do you need me to do, bro? Because ultimately, when you a lonesome man and you feel and you don't know what a man really is, and then you talking about I'm the man of the house, you're gonna do whatever, it's fight or flight. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But then when you give that same young person other options, but the bottom line is this right here. I always tell people, be careful to say what you didn't have, because sometimes you had it, but you didn't. You just wanted to come from somebody else. Mm-hmm. Like if you grew up playing sports all your life, from little league football and all that stuff, man, and like we have an organization, shout out to D-Town Steelers, man, where it's a lot of fatherless young men. But I know how we coach. Football might be the fourth thing that we out there teaching. Yeah. And most sports are like that. That's true. And if you play all your life with a coach in your life, this guy's giving you life lessons. But then we grow up and say, man, I ain't have no daddy to tell me. True, and then you ain't have no father to tell you that. But at the same time, you can't say that somebody didn't tell you. Right. It was just up to you to listen. Yeah. It was an option. It become optional. And that's the thing about it, man. The life we choose. Like I always talk about, like the quote unquote hood and things. It's a difference between reality and reality TV, man. Mm-hmm. Reality TV is scripted reality, versus the actual reality.
Actual reality.
You know what I'm saying?
You never know what might hit you.
What schools are you currently working in right now?
Man, we work with the young people from Lincoln High School. We just started going to Lancaster High School.
Shout out to Lancaster.
Yeah, shout out to Lancaster.
That's where I went.
Yeah, but what's so unique about us is we have the option just to work with young people, and with our methodology of Invade, Intrude, and Institute, That's what happens. We don't say per se invade the schools like, yeah, we about to debo the schools, but you know, it's a way. If I meet a young man on the streets and he tell me what school he go to, and I don't necessarily work with that school, but I work with that young man, I also need to develop a relationship with that school. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because I can't say that I care about you, and I'm not, and the only time I'm talking to you is when I'm giving you something or trying to redirect you. Nah, I just want to say, man, yo, I just let you know I'm here. I want to be that guy that get on your nerve, like, man, every time I turn around, this dude is around me. Because that's what creates what we call in urban space, creating that pause. Yeah. Because a lot of times, man, subconsciously, if you're just walking around moving and you're subconsciously just living, you need somebody before you can develop your own conscious to be like, you know what, man, Coach X would have said, he just had a conversation about this. And even in that conversation to yourself, man, it stopped you from doing what you was going to do.
Yeah, that's dope. So you say you work with the kids and things like that. The word that keeps sticking out to me, you say invade. When you're saying invade, that means something because that's how you always are able to. If you want to accomplish something, if you want to flip somebody's mind, or if you want to change the culture or something, change the environment, that's how you do it. You start with an organized effort where everybody goes in. Right. And like what a lot of kids miss these days is there's nobody making the invasion, but there are so many other things invading in on them. Right. I remember I used to watch like all of these documentaries and stuff like on the Clintons. I used to be real heavy into politics and stuff like that. And one thing that they came out with is they invaded the world with the idea of what a criminal was. Man. And they say a super predator or they're this or they're that. So it's like they invaded your mind to the point to where now people still lock their doors. You know, the way that they say that, what that brought about, that type of culture that it brought about. What methods do you feel like you guys are using that is going to last with these kids to say after those days, you know, that you aren't there? What do you feel is going to keep them, and what can help our listeners be kept mentally to say, yeah, this guy invaded my mind tonight and gave me that moment of pause? Right,
because we understand that we have the answer, but also like we have a part of it. See, what happens is when you start feeling like you have the total solution without saying, you know what? This is my lane, but my brother has this lane. Yeah. And this is the person I need to connect them with. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because we're ultimately trying to stop the culture of violence. So we have what we call a Power Zone network. So therefore, even though I'm directly working with this young person, I can call another mentor in to work with that young person on something he loves to do or want to be or something of that nature. So now you get more people to get more touches with this young person. Because if you didn't have any, the key thing in motivation is motive. You know what I'm saying? When you can change, what's the reason? You know what I mean? It's just like freedom. You know what I mean? If I say, yo, are you free? You say, nah, I ain't. But if you get freedom, this is someone is incarcerated. The question is, what are you going to do when you get your freedom back? Yeah. You have the option to either do the same thing to come back here, or you have the option to either change your life. You see what I'm saying? And what happens is when you open up your minds or open up, so like what we do, it's not the fact that it's a lot of people that say like South Dallas. It's a lot of young people that's never crossed that bridge, man, to go into Oak Cliff or to go into Deep Ellum that's right across the street.
No, that's all they know is South Dallas.
That's all they know. You know what I'm saying? And I don't like to put everybody in the same box because I don't believe in a box. And that's another thing that I teach when I tell my students, when people tell them to think outside of the box, I always tell them to say, man, sir or ma'am, all due respect, but what box are you referring to? Yeah. Because like if one of the things I say to them, if I say you're trying to get to 2, how do you get there? They say 1 + 1 real fast. Our mind is very simple. You know what I mean? But it's an infinite way to get to 2. You know what I mean? So,
so before we go into a break and listen to some music, is there anything that you want to tell the people? You know what you got coming up, or just anything specific?
Most definitely.
And how to reach you?
Most definitely. So on Mondays we have this thing called Kingdom Village, to where we have just this program for the young people to where we're doing our curriculum is called Benefits and Consequences on Mondays. On Tuesday, we have Tuesday night, Positive Exchange, to where we have different, if you're a mentor, if anything of that nature, come out, holler at me so we can come in. It's a networking event, partner you up with young people. You know, it's a dope thing. We have a DJ in there and all kinds of stuff. And then we have the OG Conversation, the OG, a part of the OG University. That's on every second Wednesday of the month. And but it's my email is Terry M at urbanspecialist.org. You can reach me that way or through my social media page. It's just Terry Mayo.
All right, man. Appreciate you for coming through, man, and joining us. And I just want to say before we let you go, I did attend the OG talk, you know what I'm saying? I really did enjoy it, you know what I'm saying? And I want to get more involved with it. I will. Dallas Wall Street will be more involved with it, you know. So thank you for all that you are doing for the youth, and I appreciate you again for coming.